Well, Congress is planning a hearing tomorrow into the behavior of a Marine whose career is now in jeopardy after he shared a warning about a security threat, one that turned out to be true. Major Jason Bresler saying that he was just trying to do the right thing, but the brass didn't like how he did it. Listen to this story. Fox News Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge has the explanation. Catherine?
Well, Megan, on the eve of his hearing, Fox News obtaining this letter from 6 members of Congress who all served in the Marines to the Secretary of the Navy, questioning why Major Jason Bresler could be dishonorably discharged for trying to help his fellow Marines in Afghanistan. It reads in part, quote, Major Bresler's battalion commanders during the events in question and today support him completely. Who requested that Bresler be criminally investigated and why? Bresler, a Marine Corps reservist and New York City firefighter, is facing a board of inquiry, the equivalent of an administrative hearing in the military, for warning his fellow Marines of an insider threat in August 2012. In this case, an Afghan police chief there on the right, who Bresler knew to be linked to the Taliban and who was also a child predator. The Marine reservist now stands accused of passing classified information through unclassified channels, in this case, an email account. Bresler's warning was ultimately ignored, and 3 Marines were killed by one of the Afghan police chief's child victims. His supporters say he is being singled out. There's an effort to shield the Marine who ignored the warning, and the episode exposes the underbelly of the Afghan conflict.
Catherine, you took the words out of my mouth. It really does seem to be a witch hunt and retaliation against Jason for blowing the whistle to Congress, an effort to prevent a Marine whose family connections are more elevated in terms of the Marine Corps than Jason Bresler's are. And it's part of the pattern of unlawful command influence that is plaguing the naval justice system, the Marine justice system at this time.
Tonight we've asked for an updated response. In the past, a spokesman at the Marine Corps Reserve headquarters in New Orleans, where the hearing is taking place, told Fox News he couldn't comment on these specific allegations, but added that a criminal investigation found Bresler mishandled classified information when he sent that warning to his fellow Marines on a personal email account. Megan.
Unbelievable. Catherine, thank you.
You're welcome.
Joining me now for more, Fox News contributor Lieutenant Colonel Alen West. This is unbelievable, Congressman. This guy sent the warning. The only problem is he sent it via his Yahoo account as opposed to his official military account. That's it. And for this, they're going to dishonorably discharge the guy, and he's basically going to get booted out of the military?
Yeah, Megan, this absolutely makes no sense whatsoever, because if the warning had been heeded, you would have 3 Marines that would probably still be alive, because he was trying to warn them of an Afghan police chief by the name of Sarwar Jan, who had been allowed back onto the forward operating base of these Marines in Helmand Province. And what ended up happening, this Sarwar Jan has what is called a chai boy, and basically it's an underage male prostitute, a servant to him, that somehow ended up getting his AK-47, walking into that forward operating base, FOB base gymnasium, and gunned down these Marines who, because of the rules of engagement, they were not allowed to carry weapons on their own forward operating base.
Wow. And so I don't understand really, what do you think is really happening here? Because they're saying now in that letter, who requested this investigation of him? Because apparently his immediate chain of command here in the United States did not recommend punitive action against him. It was basically the guy just used the wrong email account. That's all he's accused of.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And so it seems that political correctness is going to, somewhat overrule common sense and also overrule force protection and protection of Marines. First of all, this young, underage, unvetted boy should not have been operating on a forward operating base where our Marines were stationed, or any of our troops. And then the other thing is that someone should have heeded the warning, because Major Bresler had been assigned there in Helmand. He knew of this Sarwar Jan, but instead they want to try to cover this up and go after this Marine who really was doing the right thing.
And I want the viewers to know, he notified his own superiors of his error almost immediately after he committed it. It's not like he tried to hide it. So Catherine's reporting that maybe this is a case of connections. The guy who didn't heed the warning may be better connected than Bresler is. How does this get resolved? How does Bresler retain, the benefits and so on that are due to him?
Well, the most important thing, I think we need to melt down the phones to call the Commandant of the Marine Corps as well as the Secretary of the Navy and let them know that this should not stand. If anything, they should be, he should get a commendation for trying to step in and do the right thing to save these Marines. Those people that were responsible for the rules of engagement, the number one allowed, a child predator to be operating, a person that was had connections to the Taliban as well, and then for them to have the rules of engagement that did not allow these Marines to protect themselves.
Yeah.
It seems that cultural sensitivities just went overboard, and now we're going to punish this major for, like I said, doing the right thing.
The harshest write-up I've seen about him just talks about how it was an honest mistake. He made an honest mistake, and he tried to rectify it immediately thereafter, and it was all in an effort to save lives. This is a very confusing case. Good to see you, Lieutenant Colonel. All the best to you.
Always a pleasure. Merry Christmas.
And to you.